that's the reason why you should never sit in the back. Okay? No, I'm serious, right? Right? The fruit's always on the end of the limb. You got to come up. You have to put yourself out there. So you sat up front for whatever reason. So you were in prime position to get it. Also, what went through your mind when I held it out? When you said, should I run up? Maybe, and before you told me that, maybe some people thought, I should go up, but I'll be embarrassed. What if he's not giving it away? And I run up there and it's embarrassing. You know, I'll die of embarrassment. No one has ever died of embarrassment. You can be embarrassed, but how many times, and I'm going to give you how this works in real life for your businesses. A great business tool, great business lesson. What went through your head, sir, when you sold the $100 bill?
Worst you can say is no.
The worst I can say is no. And if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And Wayne Gretzky, one of my favorite quotes of all time, I'll give you two. One is an interview, one's a quote. You'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You never take. Exactly. Now, you know, someone mentioned preparation earlier. Another favorite Wayne Gretzky quote was this. You know, most professional athletes quit their sport when they're in the tail end of their career, where it's kind of, you're watching and it's kind of embarrassing, right? Well, Wayne Gretzky was retiring at a high level of his career, still performing at a very high level, a championship level. And an interviewer was saying, Wayne, you're still a force in the NHL. Why are you retiring? Why would you retire now? You still can win. And his answer was brilliant. And this is what he said. He said, I still have the will to win. I just don't have the will to prepare to win. I still have the will to win. I just don't have the will to prepare to win. It's in that preparation. It's that effort. That preparation is what gets you to that point. That's the mindset that we're talking about. That's the effort to get better, where it's uncomfortable. That's what Wayne Gretzky said. All champions have that. Self-talk. This is huge. We all have 50 to 70,000 thoughts that go through our mind every day. 65% of those thoughts are negative. Now, when you have a negative thought, what do you think happens as a result of that negative thought? Negative outcome. Frank Outlaw said this about thoughts. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become habits. Watch your habits as they become your values. Watch your values as they become your character, and watch your character as it becomes your destiny. All from your thoughts. Everything starts with a thought. This is the third key point. In my mastermind groups, I can't tell you enough how this is going to change your life. To think about what you think about. I want to repeat that. Let that sink in. I want you, when you leave here, to be conscious of thinking about what you're thinking about. And if it's negative, you need to yell in a louder voice in this talk, you get out, you're not welcome here. Because from negative thoughts only come negative outcomes. Let me drive this point home. I need a very strong, muscular man to do this exercise. I got move a little closer towards the trapdoor. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We're going to do a little exercise here. This picture represents a picture of negative self-talk.
T-shirt contest.
Where are you a little upset this isn't a picture of beer? That's later. So what we're going to do is, I want the audience first to guess. What do you think this picture, it's glass by the way, what do you think this picture weighs? Take a guess. 6 pounds? 2.5 pounds? 5 pounds?
Less than him.
Just as it is right now. Okay, 4 pounds. We have 2 to 6 pounds. What we're going to do, you're going to have an unfair advantage. I'm going to ask you to hold it out like that, then put it down, and you tell me what you think it weighs. Hold it out. And then you put it there. What do you think that weighs? 3.5 pounds. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to tell a short story. I promise I'll keep it short. During this story, you're going to hold this out. This is a picture of negative self-talk. Okay? And then I'm going to come back and we'll finish the exercise. Fair enough? Okay. Hold it out. Okay. So I picked my son Colin from school. And let me know when he starts trembling. You're good. Okay. So I picked him up from school and I said, Colin, what do you want to do today? It's not Beanie Babies Day. He wants to go and get ice cream. So I take him to the local ice cream place. He gets ice cream and I get the low-fat yogurt. That's what dads do. Right? So he's eating his ice cream. He's done. And he has what? On his face? The ice cream mustache, right? So we go to the bathroom to clean him up. And we walk in, and it's a communal bathroom. So there's multiple stalls, multiple urinals, and we walk in. Okay, we walk in, and I couldn't help but notice, we couldn't help but notice, there's 2 teenage boys that walk past us, and they left the water running in the sink. And I'm filling up with all this negative energy. How could they have no regard for conservation or what their parents taught them right from wrong? And as we approach the water, my son sees the same thing, and he looks up at me and says, Dad, isn't that nice they left the water running for us? And it taught me such an incredible lesson. It's from James Nape's book, Quantum Leap Thinking. It said in every situation in life and in business, there's 2 ways to look at it. A CVS, the current view of the situation, or a BVS, a better view. He chose to see the better view. He was aware of what he was thinking. If he thought something positive, his energy, his spirit, and everything that would happen after that would be what? Positive. Me, negative, that was carrying over into everything I said, my mood, my attitude, my decisions, and my results. How's he doing? Checking yet? Should I go to another story? Another story? Oh, wow. Really? But, okay. What we're going to do, does that make sense? Yeah, so just, how are you looking at it? But think about what you're thinking about, and you won't believe how many times it'll be negative. Okay, so what I want you to do is hold it down for a second. And now, it started out 3.5 pounds. 15! 15 pounds. Wow, that's, well, I'll tell you what, don't go yet. Don't go yet. Thank God. Okay. You didn't get the $100. No. But we do have, what do they call, not booby prize, what do they call it?
Consolation.
That's a consolation prize.
The Beanie Baby.
First, well, I don't know, consolation prize. And you know, I'm a thoughtful speaker, and you know, he's going to have 15 pounds. That's a lot to hold out. He's going to have some residual pain later on today and tomorrow. That's with self-talk. That's what happens. The longer you hold on to it, the longer it holds on to you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to fight that, you have to be aware of it, to get it out of your head. I can't tell you how it's going to change your life. So to help you with those pains that you're going to feel, I got your tube of again. But wait, one more thing. I'm going to pour you a cup of negative self-talk. I want everyone to watch carefully, please. Everyone see that? Yes? Yeah. I'm going to put it right, in fact, what I want you to do is just put it right up here on your head. Straight up. That's it, perfect. I'm going to do the same thing. Look, everyone see the water going in? I don't want you to think I'm doing anything sneaky here. I wouldn't do that. Hold it up. There you go. Now what we're going to do, we're going to shut our eyes. The audience is going to count to 10. We're going to concentrate on not letting this negative self-talk penetrate into our head. Buying into this. Come on. I am. Yes. I believe in you. Okay. I want you to count to 10. You have to shut your eyes and concentrate. I'll shut my eyes. Ready? Okay. You can begin counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, open your eyes. Leave it up there. Okay, I concentrated on my negative self-talk disappearing. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm the speaker, I'm going to go first, with confidence. You believe in him, don't you? You believe in him. Whoa! Give him a round of applause! That was great. You didn't expect that, did you? They actually wanted you to get all wet, just so you know. Okay, so that's the first 3/4 of your program today. I hope you got something good out of it. There's going to be a 20-minute break now. We're going to finish with the things that, you know, when I bring a program to an audience, I bring things that I think are just going to absolutely be transformational. And when I told you in the second or last quarter of the program, it's about relationships, how they changed the world in my business, how it got me to the top 3% and 65 million in personal managed sales, and how it afforded me the opportunity to sell my company to a multi-billion-dollar company, and just totally changed my ability to sell more products, close more deals, kick the competition's butt, and make tons of margin in a very competitive business where everyone was dropping their price. So 20 minutes, come back. Oh, wait a second, I even have a slide for that, I think.
The vendors.
Yeah! As Zig Ziglar said, the man's the head of the house, but the woman's the neck, and it's... This will be a lot shorter. That will give everyone time to prepare for the big cruise tonight. By the way, I brought some magic for the cruise, and it's fun magic, so I hope to see you all there. Come up and I'll show you a few really cool magic tricks. So, I thought of all the things I've ever learned and done, and you know, like I told you, I've had some great mentors and my own personal experience. What do I think could bring the most value to you that you can go back and apply in your businesses to really take things to the next level? Because that's why you're here. How do I close more deals and improve my profit margins? I understand the challenges. I understand that in the merchant processing industry that people are trying to commoditize your business, and how can you really close more deals for more money? That's really what I want to talk to you about now. I'm going to share some things that help me do that and tell you some stories that I think are going to be very meaningful to you. So one is develop better relationships than your prospects and your competitors. Notice the word better is all uppercase. How many of you have ever heard this phrase? People buy from people they know, like, and trust. That's wrong. I'll tell you why it's wrong. It's because if someone, a prospect, you're selling a merchant processing solution, and someone else is selling a merchant processing solution, and if I was selling a merchant processing solution, and they know, like, and trust you, and they know, like, and trust me better or more, who's likely going to win? So you have to understand there's small distinctions in life and in business that make huge differences. Huge, not minor. And it's that edge. That's why it's called the competitive edge. It's that edge that you're going to get, that I'm going to share with you things that will give you that edge if you apply it using the skills that we talked about earlier, those peak performance skills of mindset, of self-talk, of beliefs. That if you do this to sharpen your axe, to refine your skills, I promise you that you'll close more deals for more margins, bigger margins. That developing relationships means nothing, because if you have the second or third best relationship, typically you're not going to win the deal, because everyone's coming in with pretty similar products, which we'll talk about in a minute. You're going to outthink, out-strategize, and out-execute your competitors. These are the two things that I did in business that set me apart, and by a landslide, that I was able to crush the competition the majority of the time, and I'm going to share with you how that happened. Audience survey. How many of you believe that your merchant processing solutions are the best in the industry? May I see by a show of hands? You better believe it.
That's right.
Selling is and will always be a conveyance of feeling. If you don't believe it, you can't expect your prospect to believe it. Right? You got to go in there and believe what you're selling, what you're proposing is the best. If you don't, get out of your business and start convincing yourself that it is the best. Everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So you believe you have the best solutions in the business. If I was here with another group of merchant processing providers, and I asked them the same question, would they have said that you provide the best solutions or that they do? They do. Now, you both are going to provide proof sources. You're going to provide testimonials, references, right? Stats, facts, a pricing comparison. You're going to provide everything that substantiates and validates that you are indeed the best solution. Correct? Your competition is going to do the same thing. So here's the big question that has to be asked. Why should they believe you? First of all, what should they believe? And why should they believe you? And they should believe you because they like and trust you more. Not as much, not less, but more. And here's where this all made sense to me. I said, why is relationships and likability, the likability factor, why is it your ultimate? How many people have ever heard of your USP? Your unique selling proposition? Tough to have that in business today. In a Me Too kind of commoditized industry. The ultimate, the infinite, the definitive, unique selling proposition is you. There's never going to be another one of you that's going to be selling. And if you can make yourself something so special to that client, it's going to do miraculous things and going to prove to you scientifically why this works and how this works. I take my son Kyle. You've never heard that before. I spent a lot of time in his life when he was younger. Now I get a text. Hey, Dad. That was it. I was just at New York last week. Surprised him at his office. His boss says, I got to talk to you in the conference room, and I was sitting there. He looked, he said, boy, that guy looks just like my dad. So that was nice. So anyway, he was around 7 years old. I take him to a Florida Marlins game. It's an evening game. And after the game, it's around 10:15, we're in the car, I put him in his car seat. And they sing 2 songs at a ball game. And as I'm in the car, I start singing one of them. And what are the 2 songs they sing? Take Me Out to the ball game, which begs the question, you're already there. Why don't they say thank you for coming out to the ball game? We're already here. Don't tell us to come out. We're here. It's another story. And then they sing the national anthem. So on the way home, I don't know why it popped into my head, I started singing the national anthem. And to make this point, I'm willing to stoop, and I'm asking you to stoop pretty low with me as I sing a few bars, a cappella. Arguably, the worst voice you've ever heard to make this point. In the shower, alone, I can't stand the way I sound. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming? Bad. I normally do not get. He's looking at me saying, "Why did you even do that?" I did, right? I did. I do have a point with this. In the middle of me singing this, my son Kyle says to me, "Daddy, you have a beautiful singing voice." Proof positive, ladies and gentlemen, that love is not only blind, it's deaf. Now, what does this have to do with sales? I'm going to give you examples in your own life right now that you're 100% going to be able to relate to and say, I agree. If you had a perfect specimen of a man or woman come up to you, and they were gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous or handsome, perfect face, facial features, beautiful body, and they come up to you, and you're looking and say, wow, I can't believe they're coming up to me, and they open their mouth, and garbage comes out of their mouth. Everything that you're opposed to in your life comes out of their mouth. Physically, does their appearance change right before your very eyes? If Cindy Crawford came up to me and garbage came out of her mouth, that mole, instead of being sexy, would look like Mount Vesuvius. Things change. Now think about this with your significant other, or anytime you've dated. The more you're getting along with that person, do they look prettier or more handsome? The more things go well, they look beautiful. And the more they're getting on your nerves, or you don't like them, or you dislike them in that moment, how do they look? Uglier. Physiologically, physically, they change right before your eyes. The same way, this is the lesson, this is the takeaway. This is how powerful this is. Lock this in. The more the customer loves you, and I use the word love, the more they will love what you're presenting to them. Commensurate with that. That's why no mother has ever said, my baby is ugly. Love is blind, love is deaf. The more you love someone, defects, objections diminish and disappear. They only want to see the good the more they love you. You see, how much a person likes or loves you shapes how they see, hear, and internalize your message. The more they love you, the more they're going to love what you say, and like I said, objections are going to be diminished or disappear. And conversely, the opposite is true. Let me give you a real life example. This guy comes in for an interview for a sales job for my company, wearing a tie like this. I was expecting like the song, like the circus, right? His hair was messed up, his jacket was a little askew, and he sits down in the chair across from my desk. And I start, the thoughts are going through my mind, like, no way in a million years I would hire this guy. And he opened up his mouth, and nothing but compelling, great, beautiful things came out of this guy's mouth. And all of a sudden, his tie, like a magical trick, went like this. And it started growing. Like, I couldn't believe it. His hair was messed up, started looking cool like it was messed up. And his jacket was crooked, seemed like it straightened out a little bit. He literally changed right before my very eyes. Because how I thought about him changed. And your prospects will feel the same way. And you have to understand, if they like you and they like someone else more, they're going to give them the spin on whatever they're providing. Remember, you're both providing the same products and services, or similar products and services. You believe yours is the best, they believe theirs is the best. You're going to give proof sources, price comparisons, they're going to give proof sources and price comparisons. Why should they believe you? Because they like and trust you more. And what are you doing to get them to like and trust you more? Trump was my largest customer. I did millions of dollars 30 years ago with Trump Organization. My biggest victory with relationships was on two sides of the fence with Trump Organization. One was right after I closed the biggest deal I'd ever closed in my life 30 years ago, Trump Taj Mahal. I closed a $339,000 deal, couldn't get him approved for a third-party leasing company where I would get paid. So I had to hold the paper myself, net 30 days. In the midst of this, owing $70 million, he filed bankruptcy. Taking a hit at $339,000 would have buried me. I was doing around $3-4 million a year in business at that time. I was just getting ready to compete on American Gladiators to live my dream. And here I get this news. Right. So I just pictured that all the gladiators had his head on. And I'm not pro or against, I'm not taking a political stance here, I'm just stating the fact he was my largest customer. I had relationships with every materials management vice president of purchasing. I wrote or crafted a letter and got paid dollar for dollar, $339,000. And it would have been devastating had I not, and they ended up paying me. But and that was because of the relationships that I had. They found a way to make it happen. I would compete against the largest company in the world to win the business in these casinos. And 16 other copier vendors would be in on the deal. Everyone wanted Trump's business. If you got Trump, every casino would follow, every major account would follow in the area. Trump was it, okay, in Atlantic City. No one had 3 casinos, 4 at one time in Trump Regency. And I had that one when it was open as well. So I would compete against the world's largest company, Xerox. That's their training facility. Let's put this in comparison. That's my corporate office. Thank you for your support. Thank God I don't have a problem with my belief system, that would really shatter me right now, that you laughed at my corporate offices. No, still have. Wait a second, I had a warehouse over here. I did actually have a warehouse, and I also had an awning, and they didn't. Hey, if you credit some color coordinated awning, it's nice. So here's the question. That's their training facility. That's my corporate office. I actually had a copier company called X-Tech take a picture of my office and show it to a purchasing agent at Sands, George Toad, to say, do you really want to trust your business with a company that has an office like this? People don't buy from offices, they buy from people. They buy because of relationships. Yeah, you have the solutions, but everyone has solutions. Your unique selling proposition. You are the key differentiator of what you're proposing. So this is the advantages, besides a pretty office building or a training facility, that Xerox had over me. Size, reputation, more resources, better weapons, and brand. There's a saying in our business, no one's ever been shot for buying a Xerox. And I was definitely fighting an uphill battle. In Vegas, I would have been a serious underdog, probably 50-1. Yet I won 70% of the time when I competed against Xerox. And about 16 different vendors who all dropped their drawers and lowballed the deal, gave the deal at cost, just to get their foot in the door and say, I have a Trump account. They all gave it at cost. I had a positioning, which I'll tell you about in a little bit, ACE and MAP. ACE is Analyze, Strategize, and Execute, and Massive Attack Plan. When I talk about how I apply that in relationships to win 70% of the deals with fat margins, I positioned myself as a strategy with Xerox. So it was me and Xerox, and then you had the 16 other vendors down here. So it was a positioning technique that allowed me to sell for more and then give things away like service. It was really discounting my price, but giving something of value to say I trust my equipment. So it was a strategy that I'll get into, like I said, that really separated me from the competition, allowed me to sell for more and close more. So my greatest, I would say, relationship in the Trump organization was with a woman by the name of Diane Dixon, who to this day, 25 years later, along with Joe Martin, who's the director of purchasing, was for Trump Castle, who to this day I still communicate with these people 25 years later. Isn't it funny when I talked about that Harvard study, that relationships really do transcend the business, and how relationships really are what our life is about when you look back? So Diane, when I did business with her at Trump Plaza, she was the director, vice president of materials management at Trump Plaza, said, Michael, I'm going to give you my business for all the small and middle-sized machines. It's like 40 copiers. But we have 3 Xerox 1090s. They were $70,000 copiers back then. Big copiers, high-volume copiers. That's the business we want, because that's more copies, more supplies, more service. No one makes a big copier like Xerox. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you that business, but I'll buy all the other copiers from you. That's what she said. I would never, ever buy any other copier than a Xerox for the large volume, the high volume copiers. Fast forward 3 years later. What happened? She bought all three, she replaced all three Xerox 1090s with 3 OSE copiers. Anyone ever hear of an OSE copier? I never heard of it before I took the line. It's made in the Netherlands. It was a no name, no brand. Did my equipment, or I provided data, statistics from Buyer's Laboratory. We had 3 or 4 different laboratories and places that would offer statistics as to why your copiers and how your copiers compare better than others. And I provided these 3 years earlier. Better ones than probably I had for 07. But 3 years later, she bought 3 OSEs that replaced the 3 Xeroxes. My equipment, my independent reports, my references got no better. What got better? My relationship. And that's when it dawned on me, the more the person likes you or loves you, I have a speech called From Handshakes to Hugs, how to develop unbeatable and unbreakable relationships that last a lifetime. A Trump person is trained in his likeness. They're stoic, they're standoffish, they're very businesslike, they're very direct. That's how they're trained, especially in materials management and purchasing. That's how they're trained. They had a policy, they couldn't even go to lunch with you. And the reason for that is they know what would happen during lunch. You develop a relationship. And that relationship would lend itself to better deals in your favor. It would make them a little, soften them up a little bit. That's why they weren't allowed to go to lunch with vendors. So I'm a hugger. So I would go in and every Trump vice president of purchasing, they all got hugs. They would go like this and I'd walk right past and give them a hug. What?
Even the males?
Yeah, the males, of course. Yeah. I didn't kiss them. I just hugged them. Yeah. Yeah, I hug people. I believe we're human. People didn't mind hugging on 9/11.
Yeah.
After 9/11, right, we realized that we're human. That there's things that we can put ego aside, we can put male bravado aside. We're human beings walking this earth, having similar challenges, relationships, vulnerability, authentic behavior. That's important. So I would hug them. And when I sold my company, she wrote me gave me a card. She wrote this on the card. The card said, "Goodbye and good luck." From a stoic, hardened Trump executive purchasing person, this is the email or the message that she sent to me. There wasn't even emails back then, sadly. Michael, there are some people you meet in life that touch your heart and have a place in your soul forever. You have been one of those people to me. You're a generous, good-hearted, unique person, not to mention a hell of a salesman. I have humorous memories over our deal-making episodes at Trump and Adrian Lewis. Adrian Lewis is my company name. And more fond memories of the more intimate conversations we had about life, death, love, and happiness. I have admired your business aptitude, your personal savvy, your drive for excellence. It makes you a positive role model for others to look up to. I wish you well in all your future endeavors. Love, love, Diane Dixon. You would never expect something like this from a Trump-hardened. See, I gave a seminar, maybe 400 or 500 people in the audience, and I talked about how I competed against Xerox and I always kicked their butt. And Xerox, you have to understand this, were 30-40% better than me with their sales skills. They would fly people in, remember the training center? They would fly people into the Trump account. They were like robots. They walked in, they looked perfect. They would walk in, they would be the sharpshooters, the Green Beret, the Navy SEALs of copier sales. They were flawless in appearance, flawless in presentation, flawless in selling skills, flawless. The best of the best, they flew in. And I came in from my local awning place, gave them a hug, and won the business. And here's why. Xerox was about business first, people second. I was about people first, business second. And how do you show that? Service, all the little things that make the big difference. Whenever you have a call with a customer, Harvey McKay wrote in his book, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being the Live. He had something called the McKay 66. 66 things you should know about your customers and your prospects. And what I'm telling you is, all the little things that you do, the thoughtful, kind things that you do, are what make the huge difference in their life. That's what becomes memorable. Remembering that their son Bobby was just in a soccer tournament. And the first thing when you call up, that's the note you should make, not that they need a third terminal. The conversation needs to start with people first, business second. We're human beings before we're business people, not business people before we're human beings. I can't tell you when you call someone up and say, I knew you just had your procedure. I just called to see how you're feeling. A, it's the right thing to do. And B, that's what transcends the business. No one else does that. That's how you stand out. That's your unique selling proposition. Are you doing that? When you look in your notes of how you're communicating with your customer, is it business, business, business? You say, they're busy. No one is too busy. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. No one is too busy for someone to come into their life that's thoughtful enough to say, even the driving businessman, everyone will take time out to answer a question about something personal and important in their life. And that's what drives that conversation, and that relationship, and that business forward. So what are the keys to developing the best relationships? The best relationships. Relate and connect to passions, not interests. Remember I talked about small distinctions? Did you ever notice you talk to someone and when you connect on a passion, that relationship accelerates, deepens, widens? I'll give you an example. I'm in Indianapolis at a convention. I'm not speaking at the convention. And I see a guy wearing a nice shirt outside this outdoor concert that's going on. 2,000 people from the convention attending it. I noticed he looked a little different. This applying the rule, the self-talk. If you see someone, you approach that person. Approach people. I've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business just approaching people. In all places, on airplanes, this guy wearing a nice shirt, I just went up to compliment him on a shirt and say, stand away from me because I'm jealous, I don't have shirts that nice. Whatever I said, and we started talking, and I said, are you part of, it was MPI, Meeting Professionals International, maybe 3 months ago, it was a convention. And I said, are you part of the convention? He says, actually, I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales for Visit Indy. It was in Indianapolis. And I said, really? My ears perked up. That was just a fluke, but flukes like that always happen to be approaching enough people, right? So I said, really, you're vice president? I said, how many salespeople? I thought maybe they had 2 salespeople, 15. Why do sales training? I help companies grow their sales and their profit margins. So I said, 15, really? I said, how long have you been doing that? He said, well, 5 years. What did you do before that? I was at Marriott Corporation. This is how you get the passions. Have a conversation and find something you want that's a passion. You can both explore together and you relate to that passion. With your experience or someone else's, third party related, someone else's experience, you can connect with that. Whether you're a cancer survivor or something that's meaningful. And I said, where'd you work? Marriott. Where? New York. I said, I have a good friend who's an executive, a senior level executive at Marriott, New York. He said, what's his name? I said, Mike Stengel. He said, Mike is my best friend. And he pulls out his cell phone and shows me a text that they texted him yesterday. He said, I'm going to check on you right now. What's your name? Mike Altshuler. And he texts Mike. Mike, what are you thinking of? And Mike sends a text back. That was the end of that conversation. No, Mike sends a text back. Hey, he's a really good guy. And, it ended up being a a big contract, a training contract. We've already completed. We're talking about doing other things with them as well. All from approaching someone. So you're approaching people, like it's a 3-foot rule, approach people that are within 3 feet of the engagement conversation. I did it on the airplane coming here. The guy's at a convention for lawyers. Do you bring speakers in? Yes. There's so many people you can sell merchant processing solutions to that are sitting right next to you, or just a foot away or 3 feet away. I thought the 3-foot rule was challenging when I was 5 feet away from people. Then I realized I could walk 2 feet closer. I'm not good at math, so I figured that out after a while. But I can't tell you how much business I have just engaging people, talking to them, find out what they do, what you do, find those connection points, connect and relate to passions, not interests. That's where it accelerates. Be thoughtful, real, and transparent. Be real. I talk about the hug. I'm not joking about that. So what does it mean to be real? Be vulnerable. We're human. It's okay. I'm listening to a book right now. It's called Fierce Conversations. I have mixed emotions. I listen to it. I feel so dumb because it's so great, and it teaches me so much. I'm on the elliptical for twice as long as I'm normally on elliptical because I don't want to stop listening because that's when I listen to it, and I can't believe how great it is. So on one hand, I'm overwhelmed with the greatness of this book. On the other hand, so I feel dumb and I'm excited at the same time. It's I don't know what emotion. I can't believe I don't know this stuff. But it's all about. This is what they talk about with your employees, with your partners. Real, vulnerable, transparent conversations. Forget the fluff. This is not a superficial crap. We're walking this journey. Let's be real. It's not easy to be that way all the time. I get that. But the more real we are, the more transparent, the deeper the relationships get. And remember, relationships are what really ultimately define our lives. And customers really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. How deep and how real and how transparent are you being with your customers? How human are you being with them? I'm telling you, take that to another level, your business will go to another level. Believe me, they're people first, business people second.
What's the name of that book?
Fierce Conversations. It's great. It's great. You gotta, audible.com or just buy it. It's God bless you. It's just crazy. Crazy. Kill it with kindness. Handshakes to hugs that I was talking about. I got to tell you a funny story. My first marriage, and I'm great friends with my first wife. In fact, when the storm hit, my wife and I stayed at their place because it was like a fortress with her and her husband. So we're that close. We're really, and it confuses a lot of people. But her dad was kind of from Scotland and very stoic. And I told you I'm a hugger, and he even shakes his son's hands. Who shakes his son's hand? I don't get that. So, it was foreign to me. So, I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. So he shakes his son, and I'm watching this and said, "What is that?" And I looked again, are they really his sons? And he went up, this is true, and I went to meet him, and he went like this, and I hugged him. And I kid you not, it was like hugging a pillar. He stepping up, I was like, what is he doing? He's encroaching my personal space. And literally, it was like a pillar. It was like a board, and it was like this. And then I'd go to see him a second time, and what would he do? And I would go, and that happened a second time. And what would happen the third time? And then eventually the hand wasn't going up as quickly. And this is one of I've accomplished a lot in my life, things I'm very grateful for. Not all monetarily. This is one that had nothing to do with money or success. This had to do with showing someone what love felt like, good transparency, real love. That, he's in his 70s. Every time I saw him, he went like this, and it got less and less. And eventually, someone's going to win this battle. I'm not ever going to go like this to him. And eventually, his arms were to his side. He gave up, put his hand up. He knew I wasn't going to stop me, and I gave him a hug. And he would just stand there like this. And then months later, what did he do? He hugged me back. It kind of chokes me up because he never really felt that. He didn't get it from his parents, and he didn't know what that felt like. And to be able to be in a person's life and get them to feel that, what that feels like, to make that deeper connection with someone who cares about them, means a lot. I got him to do that near the end of his life. And then I went for it. I kissed him on the cheek. I did. I kissed him on the cheek, and he froze again. What is this? And then months later, what did he do? Kissed me back. He hit me in the face. No. kissed me back on the cheek. And then the last, kind of the trifecta, was the last thing I did was, I love you, Pop. And he said, I love you. And you never heard him say that with his kids. And I saw the warmth, this kid still, he was warmer towards my wife and his daughter, but not towards the sons, because they were still okay with shaking. But he would always, when I would see him, he may start like that instinctively, and then just wrap his arms around, we kiss on the cheek. And he was actually is the patent for the color picture tube for RCA, Phillips Ford Philco in Pennsylvania, going back 100 years ago, however long ago it was. He was a brilliant guy, he was an engineer, and couldn't be a more boring guy. I say that with love in my heart. And he thought that I was probably the most boring guy in the world. But we'd sit in a room, he and I, and he'd tell me about transistors and how we'd do things. And I'd be bored to tears just trying to keep my eyes open. And really, I couldn't stand. And I just loved him so much, I just wanted to listen and hear what he had to say. And he would oblige and do the same thing with me talking about sales that he had zero interest in, and me growing my company. And that's what you do for people you love. And that was one of the great things. So kindness from handshakes to hug, be real, be vulnerable. Start fast and strong and keep building a relationship. I found this is, as you do this, and everyone knows relationships are important. I'm asking you to up your game. If you're not, St. Jerome has a quote, good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. Good, better, best, never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. I'm just challenging you right now. You may say, I know this. I'm asking you to take it to the next level. That's it. Can you do a little better? If you don't think you can, you have a fixed mindset. It's as simple as that. Aspire to get better and do better. Be more vulnerable. Be more kind. Be more thoughtful. Pay attention more to what's important to your clients. And then start fast, connecting at that deep level with their passions, connect and relate to those. And then keep that process building your relationship over a period of time. Always do that. Don't let up. Don't let your foot off the gas. We're going to take 5 minutes to do this. What I want you to do, whether you know the person or not, I want you to turn to the person next to you. Turn to the person next to you or get to the person next to you, Mr. Pitcher. And he told me I didn't get the joke earlier that his name is Pitcher. Did you guys, everyone was laughing. I was the only one who didn't know it.
That's funny, yeah.
Did you know that? His name's Pitcher? And I'm coming up holding the picture. Someone should have taken the picture. A picture. Yes. A picture holds the picture. So anyway, I want you to spend 5 minutes, and here's the goal of what I want you to do. I want you to be real, be vulnerable, okay? And I want you to connect on something that's deeply important to that person, a passion, and relate to that with your own personal experience or someone who had that experience that you can connect with. You understand what that's like. You can start now. So the person next to you, if someone's not next to you, join the other two. Join the other two. Jump right in.
Yeah, so I'm in the trenches.
Does anyone have a passion they're connected with someone that really was meaningful that they would like to share? Okay, how about someone that connected with a passion that they don't want to share? Okay, everyone. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, well let me ask you this. If you don't want to share it, that's fine. How many of you engaged in the conversation that was meaningful? Can I see by a show of hands? How did it feel? Real good. And your new best friend. See, that's what we're talking. That's all it takes is just, and you can get into those real, you can get into those real deep conversations and accelerate a relationship to a much deeper, more meaningful level in minutes or hours versus days, weeks, or months. Just get deeper and more interested in their passions and connect and relate, have a genuine interest in that. We're running short of time, but I believe that humor is a great weapon, kind of the secret weapon. We were talking about this, weren't we, Dan? How humor is a great weapon in sales. And, life and business, I mentioned it a few times, is hard. And when I was dating before I married way over my head, another stratosphere. My wife is just phenomenal. I love her to the ends of the earth. And when you ask women when you're dating, what do they like most about the guy? How many times do you hear humor? Right? They hear it a lot. You hear it a lot. People love to laugh. And that's the way you warm a customer up, and they love to laugh. I call a serious guy. I have no time to talk right now. I heard the funniest thing. Whoa, what is it? All of a sudden, they freed up 2 minutes of their time. People love to laugh. I include 90% of the time something funny in an email. Something to make them smile or laugh in what arguably can be a tough day. Just something to make them smile and laugh. The toughest executives like that. They don't get enough of it. So these are true headlines that I thought were hilarious. I hope you find them hilarious as well. Not much improvement. A little, poquito improvement. Who's like proofreading this stuff, right? And I'm not making this stuff up, these are real.
Oh my God.
What?
Wait, they're from Colorado. That's explains it right there.
So you have to by the way, the person who wrote this, we checked it out, the writer of this article was not a math major in college. They were strictly journalism. You can't make this stuff up! The person who wrote this, I don't know if you can see their name, is Captain Obvious. I have two questions for you. We can talk about this on the cruise tonight. This is perplexing to me. First of all, 17 remain dead. Did they get up in between their death and walk around and say, I'm going to go back to death? So what does that mean, remain dead? They've been overthinking this. And in a morgue shooting spree, if you go into a morgue and shoot people, are you committing a double murder if you shoot one person? They're already dead? What? I don't even know what the crime is there. But anyway, just very. Who writes this again?
You're hitting too close to home.
Obviously, it did brain damage if you wrote it out of flat. I'll tell you.
Oh my God.
I'd say we call this just a wild guess. Poop. Just a wild guess. When you read the article, he was going to use as an excuse a hemorrhoid problem, but that didn't fly. So 8 DUIs has a drinking problem. Really? Captain Obvious wrote this article too in this piece. Now that's teaching them a lesson. This one actually makes me sad. They can't rally for out if you can't even get a big crowd. They might as well throw in hold the white flag. My favorite. No one is proofreading this stuff. I read up on this writer of this article too. She actually wrote this piece on an airplane, sitting in seat number 34C. Come on, I made that. I wish I could blame it on a writer. I made that up. It wasn't funny. Clever, not funny. Okay. Not even. I don't get it. Okay, so now I want to go over this real quick. I have a few minutes, and then we ace and that. You want to find out, analyze, strategize, and execute, just like in World Wars, Super Bowls. What you want to do is take it to a deeper level. You want to analyze, strategize, and execute. Massive attack plan. Massive attack plan is what you do to absolutely attack and think at a deeper level. When they go to war, they analyze millions of bits of information. I would win my major accounts. I'm not the best salesman. I would outthink, I would out-strategize, and I would execute the competition. It wasn't easy. I would spend hours and days thinking, well, what is the customer thinking? What would they think if I did this? What would my best strategy be? What if? Hewlett Packard had a great commercial. They kept asking, what if? What if I did this? What would the customer think? What would the competition do? What if, what if, what if? Keep asking, keep drilling down into what it looks like, what you're doing and what they're doing. That you want to minimize, this is the whole thing, you want to minimize the strengths of your competitors and maximize yours. You want to maximize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. It's hard to win against an opponent you don't know. Know your competition inside and out, know the customer inside and out. Sometimes the biggest opponent is you. A lot of people don't like to do the work. To analyze, I would literally spend, sometimes on a big account, $400,000 account, I spend weeks and weeks just analyzing bits and pieces of information. Develop Peyton Manning. Anyone know the name Peyton Manning, the quarterback? Was he the fastest quarterback? No. Did he have the best arm? No. What? Pretty, but no, towards the end of his career, no. Not the best arm, not the fastest, not the most agile. Smartest. His pre-game workout, his preparation was, he knew the defense better than anyone. And that's why he was a champion. What do you know about your competitors? What do you know about what's in your code? Take it to a deeper level. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't do it. Take it to a deeper level and you'll get results. What is your competition saying you're doing better than you to win the hearts and minds and business of your potential customers? There's that word better again. You have to take it to another level. In closing, I had a very special thing happen to me around 15 years ago when I first started in the speaking profession. I had a woman by the name of Lynn Gidrow sitting in the audience. And her grandmother, before she died, gave her a poem. And Lynn Gidrow was touched by my presentation to the point that she sent me the poem that her grandmother had sent her and said, I'd like you to have this and I hope it makes a difference in your life. And since that time, I've closed every talk with this poem. High-powered sales talks, doesn't matter. In closing, I'd like to share with you the poem that Lynn Gidrow gave me. It's called The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noticed that first came her date of birth and spoke the second date with tears, but said that what mattered most of all was that dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we have, the car, the house, the cash. It matters how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left. It can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel. If we could be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we could treat each other with respect and often wear a smile, remembering that this special bash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, will you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? It is my sincerest hope, wish, and prayer that each of you spends your dash in a way that will be super meaningful to your co-workers, your friends, your customers, but most importantly, your loved ones. Thank you, and God bless you all.